what you should see is this exact slide, and as I change the slide will change on your phone, hopefully. That's the idea. Anyway, till the internet dies, and then world pain. Okay, you good on the camera?
We're good, let's go.
Okay. So, as Adrian said, the aim of this really is to improve your personal cybersecurity, and as a side effect, we will obviously improve the cybersecurity while you're in the workplace as well. My role, Cyber Protect Coordinator, so I do the East of England now. I formerly worked for Norfolk and Suffolk as of 10 days ago, something like that. I've left, so I can't even drive a car anymore. I had this booked in the diary. I was like, I've got to go, so I've got my ex-boss driving me around and judging me every second. So excellent. This is similar to, did anyone do this lesson a couple of years ago? Yeah, a few people. So similar, just built on it a little bit more, hoping you guys will get the answers right and it'll be plain sailing, see how it goes. But like I said, all the voting is anonymous, so don't worry, there's none of that pointing, unless you point at me. As we go through any questions, just shout, that's all good, no problem at all. So we can do that as we go through. Let me just pop back to this very quickly. So if you've got a phone, just menti.com and that code. Are we all there? Yeah, amazing. If it doesn't work or it drops out, it's not the end of the world. It's just quite nice because what I tend to do is I will change the examples and the direction we go in based on the answers we get.
We have got a replacement for John, hopefully coming at some point.
Yeah.
We have got someone else who can do it.
So someone's coming along in 2 weeks. Two
Yeah.
weeks time, is it?
Yeah, Friday the 3rd.
Are we there over there?
Yeah.
It will look exactly like this screen. So you'll have a little picture of this on your phone, basically.
To create a free Mentimeter
No,
Yeah.
menti.com, mentimeter.com. That's the only thing I would say.
Oh, cool.
But if it doesn't, you can just point
Can
it.
we scan that code?
I've done that. Spot the doddering old fool.
Did it just look like that when you scanned it?
Yeah,
That was right.
and I was right.
Yeah, so it should look like that, and as I change slides, it will move along. Here we go.
You're in.
Mentimeter.
Amazing. You have to come
We're going to
with
put a
it.
code.
Yeah, we stag it.
Yeah. Okay, so as I change the slide, picture changes. There we go. And this is pretty much as hard as it gets. So there should be a question on your phone now. Have you used Mentimeter before? You just pick whichever is the relevant answer, and hey presto, it pops up on the screen. That is as hard an audience participation as I'm going to ask for, okay? That's pretty much the name of the game. As we go through, like I say, any questions, just shout at me, it's fine. So we're going to look at how cyber criminals can target you as an individual and target organisations. We're going to look at some specific areas. You're going to get these slides as well, I'll send those over to Adrian. These are the 5 main areas for individuals and organisations, and we'll do some examples and case studies as we go through. Defensive measures, what can you do to improve that, and then just highlighting cyber choices at the end as well. So, why are you here? Well, most companies don't do cyber security training. I think if you walk around companies, you'll see fire extinguishers, you'll see, oh, Joe is the fire warden, and you go out every Wednesday and have the drill and whatever. How likely is that these days? Well, probably not that likely. Cyber, you're probably going to get phishing emails most weeks, and that can lead to a fairly significant cyber incident. So most organisations don't deliver cyber training. Humans are the weaker element. They can be a strength, obviously, if they're well trained and they know what they're doing or they know how to report things. But it's a lot easier in sort of technical hacker terms. It's like it's easier to hack the person than it is to hack the system, because people normally want to be helpful, especially if you're pretending to be a client. Phishing is the most common way into organisations: email, text message, voice. Doesn't really matter which method. They're all phishing. They're all using the same techniques. And we'll look at some examples of that as we go through. Financial loss up near 5,000. More for larger organisations. Ransomware, probably the one you've heard about the most in the media. Not the largest financial loss for organisations, but still pretty significant. UK are the worst country in the world for actually paying ransomware. We pay it more than any other country. What I would say though, it really is that the reputational damage is the main concern. Yes, you can recover from a cyber attack, but what is the potential reputational repercussions for you as an organisation and as you as an individual. So account compromise, for instance, social media. Well, what would happen if someone got on the least price social media account and then, I don't know, put some indecent content on there, for instance? Let's go worst case. Well, as an organisation, that's going to be pretty bad. What if they also told the EDP, have you just seen this? And the EDP, bam, jump on it, it's on the website, all those sorts of things. Why are they doing it? Well, they might have sent you a message beforehand saying, pay us some money or we're going to post something, and you go, no, jog on. And they go, well, all right, bam. Insurance isn't going to be able to cover that because it's non-fungible, is it, right? Your reputation is really hard to gauge. So, I don't know what the cyber is like here and what you use. I know I spoke to Adrian a few times and there's different security systems in place. Physical security as well, when you walk in, there's the buzzers and all those sorts of things. So let's not forget that side. But it's really important that we do couple security with ease of use. There's no point of having a system that's really easy to use with no security, or vice versa, something you can't use but is really secure. So, I'm going to ask you lots of questions. We've got the things on the slides, but has anyone heard of any of those? Yeah, a few. Action fraud? Yeah, so main reporting mechanism for fraud and cybercrime in the UK. If you had say you got scammed on Facebook or something like that, and you rang up the police and said, oh, I was scammed last week or last month, they would pass you through to action fraud. They would take the report and it would go down to a central vault and then it would be issued out to the relevant force area. The National Cyber Security Centre, anyone heard of that one? Few. So NCSC is the government's authority on cyber advice for individuals and organisations. CyberAware is one of their main campaigns. It's been on the radio, but not really on TV. NCA, you've probably seen that channel called War on Drugs, NCA, and like all those, we're going through the door, those sorts of things. Well, Cyber Choices is a programme from NCA, and Cyber Choices looks at preventing young people getting involved in cybercrime. I'll touch on that at the end. And then these three, probably Cyber Essentials, a few of you have heard of. So this is a government rubber stamp, really, that you as an organisation are meeting certain cyber standards. The Eastern Cyber Resilience Centre. So the Cyber Resilience Centres were set up over about the last 3 years, and their aim is to provide long-term support to organisations. So we're there to give like first aid, if you like. They're there to provide long-term support to organisations who maybe couldn't access it, couldn't afford it, those sorts of things. And then Police Cyber Alarm is a tool that you can install in an organisation. Think of it like a CCTV looking at your firewall. It basically says, oh, this looks a bit dodgy, what's going on, and flags it up to you. Doesn't take any action, but just highlights it to you.
Free as well.
Yeah, all the free resources. Yeah. So I mentioned NCSC. You'll get these slides. These are all linkable. There's some really good stuff on there. The Cyber Action Plan, I would say, is the best one for an individual. You answer some questions. It gives you a list of things to go away and do. And we're going to cover a number of those in today's session. So you've got some scales here. I consider myself cyber savvy. I'm aware of the main cyber risks. I'm well protected from cyber attacks. I know who to report a work-based cybersecurity issue to. So if you haven't got a clue, it's that side. If you have and you know, then it's this side. Slide your scales now. Need like some music to go with this, I thought they were all going to be 1 second. Okay, good. Interesting, we're pretty critical of ourselves. Good, okay. I thought this is probably the most important one for you. That's good. Who is it they reported to, Adrian?
James.
There we go, there we go. So that's who you reported to, that can be a 5. It wasn't you that didn't know. Okay, so cyber savvy, really difficult one, cyber savvy, because on a scale of 1 to 5, I wouldn't put myself at 5 because we see new things all the time. Main cyber risks, yeah, we still see new things every week, every day that are quite interesting, but the main ones haven't really changed. So you'll see a lot of similarities if you were here 2 years ago, a lot of the same areas and lots of the same guidance. So traditional crime, cyber enabled. So this is your traditional crime type where the scale, reach or impact is improved using technology, and then cyber dependent, pure cybercrime, so computer to computer. I mentioned them a couple of times as we go through, just so you know. You might not know what these terms mean, DDoS, malware, ransomware, you will at the end, don't worry. So which of these social media platforms do you use? Don't use any, you don't have to vote. Let's see. Okay.
I'm too old for that.
Yeah.
Age color.
I would have put LinkedIn as probably the highest, but there we go. Facebook. Facebook is the most commonly compromised account type in the UK. Okay, and account compromise is the most common cybercrime in the UK. LinkedIn. Yeah, if I was looking for a way into your organisation, I'd be looking at Leeds Prior, LinkedIn, and all the associated staff, and that would give me a map and take it from there. I don't know if you've still got the About Us page with certain people on, and use that as well, and then I could drill down and see what other information is available. YouTube, most people are probably just viewing, not watching or not creating content on there. But you know, it might be that you use the same handle across Instagram, Twitter, and various platforms. So again, potential ways that cybercriminal could use it. But we're all using technology, so we all have some form of digital footprint. Even if we've not got any of those, we've got bank accounts, probably online bank accounts, or we've got WhatsApp, or those different things. So because we've got those devices, we've got all those different systems in place. I can see smartphones, smartwatches, things like that. We need to think about how we prevent access to that data. Okay, and I think last time people went away going, "Oh, that's quite scary." It is a little bit scary, but this isn't like I don't go and use technology. I'm the worst example of that ever. I've got like a robot hoover and a robot lawnmower. Why? Because I'm lazy and I don't like hoovering, and my robot lawn just goes and hoovers my house while I'm working. Great. But what do I need to do from a cyber point of view? Well, I need to make sure it's not dialing out to the internet. I want to restrict what information it's accessing, those sorts of things. So technology is great, we just need to think about controls and how we limit potential scope. So main threats I mentioned: phishing, account compromise, and business account compromise, and that often leads to things like payment diversion frauds, which is the most common or largest financial loss for organisations. And then we've got malware, ransomware, and then we've got the accidental, sending an email to the wrong person, clicking on a link. Used to be back in the day like MP leaves laptop on train and things like that. Don't hear that so much anymore because the laptops are normally encrypted. So, you know, if they get lost in the train, oh, okay, it doesn't really matter because it's encrypted. Digital footprint, all that information about us now. We've got our active digital footprint, that's what we're posting, and then we've got passive as well, which is other people. I know Leeds Prior might go, "Oh, Adrian's done some great work today." Well, it's not Adrian posting that, so that would be passive. But likewise, you've also got companies' data breaches. So for instance, you might sign up to a site or service, normally anything you buy now, you sign up, and they get hacked and leak your data. Not your fault, so that's your passive footprint. Social engineering, this is the main way in for cyber criminals because it's easier to hack the person than it is the system. And then this one, digital hygiene. I don't like the phrase very much, but we go to the doctors, we go to the dentists, great, but do we think about our passwords? Do we think about reviewing our accounts and deleting accounts we don't need? Probably not. So account compromise, I said, most common crime type. Could be via phishing, i.e. someone sends you a link, sign in here. You sign in and they steal your details, and then what they would normally do is sell those on or use them themselves. So there is people called account brokers, and they will say, "Oh, I've got access to Leeds Prior, who's interested? Accountancy firm in Norfolk, this is their turnover, I've got it for their compliance manager, who's interested?" It might be a little bidding war and it might sell. Okay, normal member of staff in a normal company, £10. You, I'd say,
£3.
I'm going to say 150, but yeah, no, it'll be more. Okay, senior staff, obviously going to have potentially more access to systems, so that the logins would be worth more. That access broker would sell those on, and that person would use those details. Now, if they're getting a lot of details, so say they've done a phishing campaign and they've got 1,000 accounts, they could just put that in and try running through. They'd use a bit of software and say, try and log into these accounts with these passwords. If we're reusing passwords, then potentially they could get in from, you know, they get that one password, but then they can get into lots of different accounts. People heard of Have I Been Pwned? I think I showed this last time. So if you haven't, you can have a little look. You can see if you've been in any data breaches. Again, not your fault. This is a company or a site or a service that you've trusted losing your data. Okay, so my personal address now, I've been in 14. I've had my personal address about 23 years. So not too bad, but that information is out there. I can't get it back. I just need to be aware that it is out there. most people do reuse passwords. So when we get investigations come into the cybercrime unit, often when we speak to the victims, we say, "Oh, do you reuse passwords?" "Oh yeah, I do. It's so much easier." "How long you had that?" "Oh, about 10 years now." So they're probably just going to go through all their accounts, and they might say, "Oh, it was my eBay account that was hacked." Great. Any other accounts? "Well, my email's a bit funny, and so is my PayPal, and so is my Facebook," and they're just literally going through all the accounts. So, do you use the similar passwords across multiple websites? Hopefully none of those. They're the worst passwords in the world. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, over 23 million people have used that as a password and lost their account. For you guys, like lease prior with numbers instead of the O's and exclamation marks and things like that, that would be what I'd be looking at. Potentially your what3 words for your office, your postcodes, things like that. As individuals, pets, dogs, really good one. Or normally people, if they've got dogs, their dog's name is a password or something like that as well. Okay, so 4, congratulations, you're even better than me. We do reuse passwords because we have a lot to remember, and it's a bit of a pain, isn't it? Unfortunately, like I say, if we're reusing them for our key accounts, then that can be potentially bad. So, which of these is the strongest? So, which of these is the strongest password? It's really hard to see on yours, but QWERTY123, password with 5s, Epic Camel Mountain, and OE4D, capital D, exclamation mark, 3, pound sign. Okay. That's good. Normally we see it the other way around. We look at this one and think, oh, that's going to be really strong because it's really random and I'd struggle to remember it, but it's too short. Okay, computers don't really care how random it is. It's all about length of password. If you think about a combination lock, a 3-digit combination lock, there's only so many digits. If you add a 10-digit combination lock, it's going to take you a lot longer to get in. Computers work the same way, and you can see the more letters, the longer a password is, the stronger a password is. Okay. Does anyone use password managers, or do you use password managers in the company? No, but anyone use them personally? So, like, you go to log in, it says, "Would you like us to recommend a password for you?" Something like that. That's one way to do it. National guidance is for passwords, 3 random words. Get 3 random words and put them together will make you a long password, which then is a strong password, and then you've got your complexity. So password managers, there's lots of them out there. Normally you put in your key password, your master password, and then it stores all your other passwords for you. Okay. Even the companies who are running these, if they're good, they won't know the passwords, they're all encrypted. But if you forget your master password, you've lost all your passwords. Okay. So most browsers now will say, "Do you want us to remember that for you?" You press yes, that's saving in your browser in a little password manager. 2-step verification, the app, do you use that in workplace? Yes. Do you use Microsoft Authenticator or? Yeah. Okay. So 6-digit code changes every 30 seconds. If you've got these 2 on your key accounts, you're much less likely to be a victim of cybercrime. Okay. I think of it like you go to get cash out. You go to get cash out. You've got your PIN and you've got your card. The PIN's something you know. The card's something you have. That's the same as 2-step verification. Your password saying you know, and your phone, where the notification comes through, or the app is something you have. So what we often see is people will log in and then it will trigger. Okay, so if you've got the 2-step switched on, it will ask for the code, you pop it in. Your device is normally then saved for a period of time. Let's say 6 months, 2 months. Depends on the system. Do you have any here that need this every time?
Only when logged in remote.
Yeah, okay. So good example there of improving security when you think there's a weakness, i.e. people could be working remotely. Okay, let's challenge them every time. But for your normal email, you'll log in once and it will go, "Thanks very much," and then it will remember you for a fixed period of time. Unless you get a new phone, or you maybe go on holiday, or you do something that goes, "Hang on a minute, I just want to double check," it will challenge you again. Okay, so that's when you get the, either you're in or you're denied. And this is where sometimes you'll get the email saying, did you just try to log in or something like that? It might trigger that sort of email notification. Normally if you've done it a couple of times or someone's done it a couple of times, that's quite a good indicator that, hang on, I might need to change my password, but let's not click on the link in the email just in case. So do you use two-step verification? It's also called two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication for your personal email and or social media. Yeah, if you don't know, it might be that you set it up originally, you haven't changed your phone, it's just taken that long. What I would say now is most services now, Google started it about 18 months ago, most services now will try and switch it on by default. It's quite difficult to set up some services without it. No, if you don't, think of it a bit like your layers of security. Passwords are good, but this is a second layer of security. If someone gets past your password, if they find it or they guess it, then this is going to stop them. So I would really, for your email and your social media, I'd say that's your requirement really, because social media, they could be you. Email, normally, reset passwords, it just goes straight to your email. So that's your key account really, and then everything else can be breached from there. So let's lock that one down. So social engineering is what it says really. This stat is always in the 90s. The human is a lot easier to trick, manipulate, get them to do what you want than the system. Okay, and this was an Essex detective. A lot of the time we find they just log in. Okay, don't get me wrong, we do see some intelligent and sophisticated hacks where they're going through technical controls, but a lot of the time it's the individual that they're going through. So, phishing, smishing, vishing, we're rubbish at naming things, text message, email, text message and voice. All of them are trying to do the wrong thing for them, or wrong thing for you, right thing for them. Click on a link, open an attachment, download some software. Lots of tools and techniques they can use. Numbers can be spoofed, so they could fake a number and make it look like they're calling from your head office, for instance, or the police, or something like
It's
that.
got common ones illegal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just spoofing.
Yeah. Sense of urgency. You need to do this today, or the payment is going through. Or even if they're getting into your accounts and sending a message out saying, you know, the house needs to exchange today, you need to pay your deposit, those sorts of things as well. They will often use some, I think people think phishing emails, they look really bad. Some of them do, don't get me wrong, but a lot of them are quite sophisticated now and they will look good. They will use real emails and then just change one thing, like a link on there. Gateway to committing further offences. So they send one of you guys an email, you click on it, you put in your details, well then they're going to use that from another attack point of view. So it's business email compromise, ransomware, payment diversion fraud, those sorts of things. So this is really a gateway crime to do more damage. We did have an organisation recently, start of the year, and they noticed that someone had logged in from South America, and they went, what's going on there? They locked the account, and the person was like, oh, no, I'm in. The next morning, they're like, did you try and log in last night? And they were like, no. From South America? Obviously not. Their password had got out, basically. They reused a password, but their system picked it up, notified the person, they blocked the account. 2 minutes, start to end. Really good. They were lucky the IT guy had his phone on, was like, what's going on? It was like 8 o'clock at night, and he was just quite diligent, pressed the button, locked the account. So really good example there of, obviously, there's that first offence, they've gained access, but internal systems locked it down really quickly. They gave the person some training, they reset their password, no damage done, but that was a good technical control in place. Do you guys have anything like that? Geolocation or intrusion detection or anything like that?
I do check logs in today.
Yeah, amazing, cool. Which is, again, how much damage can they do? Well, potentially quite a lot, but it's economies of scale, isn't it? Like, it'd be great if you could have someone sitting there all day looking at these things, but you have to balance those up. So, phishing, messages en masse. Hitting everyone, members of the public, whoever, you know, we're the police and we've been watching you, you left your home during COVID, give us some money. All the way to spear phishing, where they're going to personalise it and they're going to send it to the person in the conveyancing section, or to Adrian, or to specific individuals, to whaling, where they are going right after that individual, like to say the finance, John, who works in finance, who does this account, and we're going to have that information. So those two really require some foresight, some research, and that's where your LinkedIn comes in. It's quite helpful to see who does what and where you've come from and the background and areas like that. So potentially more payoff, but more research time needed on that side. So, have you had a phishing email to your work email in the last month? Cool, okay. Around 50-50. Those who said yes, was this personalised? Like, did it say your name in? No? You're a couple? Okay. That's quite interesting. So, I would say legal firms, accountancy firms are probably up there as the most attractive targets because of the money and the access to information you've got. So that's why you'll get a lot of spear phishing ones, and especially if your details are on LinkedIn or on the company website and things like that. Contact John. I believe John does this account. Okay, brilliant. I'm in. If they're just general, well, again, it could just be a flood, and again, it could be to the firm. Do you have Mimecast or anything like that? Yep. So it picks up, filters emails, and does things like that, and staff can just report messages as well. Amazing. So that's good, and then I guess the filters just update as and when people report, and if necessary, send the odd email out saying please don't click on this email, or yeah, brilliant. Okay, so all good stuff. So got a couple of little examples now. You can pinch and zoom on your screen here. What I want you to tell me is, do you think this is a genuine or a phishing email? Probably easier having a look on the phone or shout at me, I don't mind. Just wait till we get to sort of 7 or 8. Okay, 1 genuine, 5 phishing. Okay, so this one went to a firm not very far away from here at all. The email address is probably the main giveaway. info@johnnywas. They've titled it accounts department, the account name. Okay, it went to the right person in finance. CC'd the second person in finance, which is quite interesting. The reference is different. I didn't pick it up till the other day. The language is quite good down here, and it plays on curiosity. We're all like, I wonder what that is. Please direct all inquiries to your local payment details you have stated on the attached advice. Okay, I'm curious, I'm going to click that. That attachment is HTML, which is a bit suspicious as well. That is ransomware. So the person didn't open that, but the member of staff reported it and said, hang on, I've just had this email. It shouldn't have really got through, to be honest, but it did. Luckily, like I say, they reported it, they didn't click on it, but that was only because 4 months prior to this, they got hit with ransomware and they'd all had staff training in the interim. Okay, so that's a fairly good example from here down. If this was a better address and this was a PDF or a macro-enabled document, I reckon it would have probably worked. Because that curiosity element is a good one. So, what about this one? Microsoft unusual account sign-in activity, verify your account, and there's a big button at the bottom with a link. What do you think about that one? Again, I'll wait till we get to sort of 7. Okay, so we've got 7 phishing, 2 genuine. Genuine, that one. Just put it in there because I'm awkward. Really difficult to tell though, because that email address is a genuine Microsoft domain. Great, it's really long. We've blocked access. That link does go to a genuine Microsoft site, but again, someone could just use that template, change the link, and there you go. So what I would say really is best practice is just don't click on the links if you're at all suspicious and go via the main site. So what about this one? This one's talking about payments for property information, conveyancing, quotes. Look forward to your response. hope this will give you an estimate for the appropriate quote and time frame. Okay. Yes, well done. That was one that one of your colleagues got. Clicking on the link took them to a login credential page. And I think it probably said something like 365 to log in. You need to log into your account to access this. Okay. Kind of given this one away already. So you've got an email chain here. An email sent. We've received word from the seller solicitors. We're in a position to progress. 10% deposit is required. And then what's interesting here is that you've got the person replying. So what do you think's happening here? Any takers?
They've inserted themselves in the transaction.
Yeah, so what's happened is, following on from that previous email, they have got the account details, they've logged in, and then they've sent this message, pretending to be one of your colleagues, to this customer, talking about this property. The customer's been quite confused here and going, hang on, we've already sorted this out, what's going on? So they've done the right thing. What was quite smart, if you like, was the CC. If you look, it's a bit small, but they've CC'd in dclark@leaseplier.co.uk. So instead of the I, they put an L in. So it's not going to go anywhere because I don't know, they maybe owned the website. Great. Or it's just going to have a bounce back. But the other person's not going to know that. They're going to go, oh, they've emailed in that person. Again, they can just look on the website and go, who's the most important person in that team? Right, I'm going to CC in their fake name. It just gives it a little bit more credibility as well. So, does an icon of a padlock next to a website mean the site is trustworthy? While you're doing that one, I'll just link back to the last example. That is a really good example of business email compromise used for a follow-up attack. They can go in and say, oh look, I'm going to reply to all of these people, and they can try and hide the emails as well. So they can, for instance, any emails that come in with keywords or go out with keywords, if they've set up rules, forwarding rules, they can put them in a different folder so that users not noticing any change in their email.
Just on that as well, if you do notice, because I know there's a fair number of stuff where someone keeps targeting them and setting up false websites,
Oh yeah, take
you can report them to NCSC and they'll get them taken down for you.
Yeah. And if you have trouble, just come in to us.
Otherwise.
Okay, excellent, not sure, one yes and no. So the padlock just means the information between you as the user and the owner of the website is encrypted. Okay, so it means that no one can see what you're doing with that website, but it doesn't give you any measure of how trustworthy the site is. Okay, so I could go and set up leaseplier.co.uk and I could get that SSL TLS certificate for free, and then I could have my own version of your website, basically. I can even use a bit of software to skim your website if I wanted to. And here's another example. So you might get the classic email, thanks very much for purchasing a laptop on PayPal, Amazon this weekend or whatever. If it wasn't you, click this button, and you click the button, it takes you to your login page. You think, oh my God, I haven't just spent £1,500. You log in, they've just got your credentials because this looks good, but the website secure.accountinforming.com isn't obviously PayPal. So, a little example. This is Vishin, so voice solicitation. Just when you're watching this, hopefully the sound will be loud enough, but just have a think about what tools and techniques she's using here. It's a bit American, but it's good. If the video works.
They're going to hack me using social engineering, which is essentially hacking without any code. They just use a phone and an internet connection.
You want to do a sample of phishing call?
What's phishing?
Phishing is voice solicitation, and basically what you do is you use the phone to extract information or data points that can be used in a later attack.
Let's do it. Who are you going to call?
Maybe I'll call your cell phone provider and
Okay.
see if I can get them to give me your email address.
I bet they're good. I bet they have my back. But yeah, go for it.
I'm going to spoof from your number, so it's going to look like it's calling from you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me okay? My baby, I'm sorry. My husband's like, we're about to apply for a loan and we just had a baby and he's like, get this done by today. So I'm so sorry. I can't call you back. I'm trying to log into our account for uses information and I can't remember what email address we used to log the account. The baby's crying and, can you help me? Awesome.
In just 30 seconds,
At gmail.com?
Jessica gets access to my personal email address.
Now, if I needed to add our neuter daughter on our account so she could call in and make changes, how would I need to go about doing that? You would have to send me a secure PIN through a text message? Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't think I'll be able to receive a text message if I'm on the phone. Oh, I'm not on there either? So I thought when we got married, he added me to the account.
Jess uses my girlfriend's name and a fake social security number
5127.
to set up her own personal access to my account.
Wait, I'm sorry, so there's no password on my account right now? Can I set that up?
She even gets the support person to change my password.
Thank you so much for your help today.
So she just basically blocked me out of my own account.
I'll get her fed after this. All right, thank you.
So, use of language is really good in there. The baby crying in the background with the YouTube video. They bypass their own security. Oh, I don't think I'll be able to get a code when I'm on the phone. And then, like I said, the language at the end, oh, there's no password on my account. It's quite, I mean, she's already said it's not her account, but the person just trying to be helpful, but they bypass their own security measures. Who's had this one? The parcel delivery text message. Everyone in the world has had it a million times, I think. It doesn't have to be Royal Mail, DHL or different ones, but you get a message, you click on the link and it might open up something that looks a little bit like that. And that's what happened to this former police officer. It was $1.99, was waiting for a parcel, clicked on it, paid $1.99, put in his address, obviously his card details and his name. Now, tens of thousands of these being sent out, as we all know. Okay, so that is one organised crime group who specialise in sending out those emails. But then there would be another organised crime group, it might be the same but a different branch of it, who then do the follow-up, the vishing call. Like you just saw, they call up and pretend to be his bank. Hi, Mr. Adams, it's John from the HSBC fraud team. Calling because there's some unusual activity on your account. Did you just purchase a laptop? No, I didn't. I need to go through security with you. And they'll just basically recite back the information he's provided. The last 4 digits of your card are 6923, you live at 57 The Street. And I appreciate the calls come out of the blue, but if you take your card out of your wallet, you'll see the number I'm calling from is the number on the back of your card. Okay, so they've used the number spoofing, they've used the information he's provided, and then they'll say, you know, we need to move the money to a safe account, a secure account, which is their account, and they move the money out. Similar scam, but car tax, you know, all those different ones that come in. And the timing of these calls as well. The phone call will normally come in on a Friday night or a Saturday night or a Sunday night where people are busy, they're putting kids to sleep, the banks probably haven't got as many staff on, so you can't ring, those sorts of things. So need to be aware of those time pressures as well. You know, banks and police aren't going to say you need to move that money out of the account now, it's just not going to be done. Okay, so please be aware of that. Lots of different things they'll use it doesn't matter if it's fraud or phishing, but current news, so energy rebates was one a little while ago, authority bank, those sorts of things, urgency, scarcity, emotion, so dating scams, but also, has anyone had the hi mum message comes through, like, hi mum, my phone's broken, those sorts of ones. And then there's data as well, so does a message have, you know, hi John, I'm going to be more likely to respond to it. So, check the other party. You can report emails, you can report text messages. This one's quite an interesting one, 159. So basically, you can call 159, it's like 101. Okay, you call 159 and they say which bank, and you say HSBC, Barclays, and it puts you through to the fraud team. So you don't have to worry about, oh, what's the fraud team? Oh, it's 06, You just call 159 and then they will direct you straight through. Okay, so quite a new one, it's quite useful. The reporting service is really good as well. They will look to take down the websites and they're quite good at it. This is about 1 million a month at the moment on emails. That's about how many we get in the UK. People report about 1 million, and it seems to be about an increase of about, slowed down a bit now, it's about 10,000 websites they're taking down. So a lot of them are going to be the same scams. But yeah, where they can, they're quite good at taking those down. Right, some of you might remember this one. I'll have a new video in a minute, I promise.
Oh, hi, can I help?
Hot chocolate.
What's her name?
Joelle.
What was her name?
Alex.
Alex. There you go, Johnny.
If you like our Facebook page, we give you a free hot drink and a free pastry.
We have a new line for Damien. We have a new line for Damien.
Stanley, bye. Hi there, can I help?
Yeah, just liked your Facebook page.
Okay, I'll search Facebook
I'm
now.
searching Google.
Have a phone number.
I've got his email address.
Okay, Carly, are you ready for information on Damien?
Yep, I am.
Mother's maiden name is he banks with
Carly, this is the girl coming in now with the blue scarf.
What's her name? Nicholas.
Nicholas. His date of birth, 7th of May. She lives at 38A.
Just me a couple of seconds.
2 children, aged 4 and under. Previous address. She's got the postcode.
Yeah, got it. Damien, age 26 and a fitness instructor.
How's you doing with that?
Brody goes to UCL. Martin went to South Thames College. Assistant psychologist at Great Ormond Street. Oh, better.
You know I'm a Christian as well.
Oh yeah, we know everything about you, Martin. Thank you. Nice to meet you, Anna from Russia.
So obviously those people, their profiles were fairly open, but they also did have a footprint. But people still do this. So hashtag boarding pass on Instagram. This was the former Australian Prime Minister. To log in at the time on Qantas, you just needed your name and your booking reference, which he just posted on Instagram. And so someone did, and they looked at the code for the page, they just pressed F12 and they found all his passport details. And that's, you know, supposedly a fairly savvy person who'd have a team of people advising him on this. And what was quite interesting was it took 45 minutes to do all of this, 3 months to report it as a problem to him, because obviously the layers of bureaucracy. Earlier this year, I just did a how many people have mentioned hashtag boarding pass as a unique post on Instagram with a photo, and it was still 226. So it's 236. So even if that loophole's been closed now, Qantas were like, oh, we need to put password control in. Great. Well, you're still going on holiday, going to go rob your house, you know, those sorts of things. So think about not just from the cyber angle, but also from the physical angle as well. Right, now this is new and it's a bit strong. There is some strong language in there as well, so parental viewing is observed. This is more around our use of social media, how it impacts potentially children. Quite an interesting message, and I'll sort of link into it afterwards.
Hey Mom, hey Dad. It's me, Ella. Well, a digital version of me, just a bit older. Amazing what technology can do these days, isn't it? All you need are a couple of pictures, like the ones you share on social media, where they can be taken and used by everybody. I know for you these pictures are just memories, but for others, they are data. And for me, maybe the beginning of a horrible future. A future where my identity can be stolen just like that. Where I can go to prison for things that I would never do. Imagine my credit score being destroyed, Dad. Or my voice copied to scam you, Mom.
Mom, I'm in trouble. I need you to send me money, please.
I don't want to become a meme, humiliated by everyone at school.
Kill yourself, you fucking loser.
And I certainly don't want This. What you share online is like a digital footprint that will follow me around for the rest of my life. I'm telling you this because I know you love me and would never do anything to harm me. So please, Mom, please, Dad, protect my virtual privacy.
Did anyone on social media over the last month or so, kids going back to school, classic Freddie's off to school in front of a house with a school badge and those sorts of things? So people do it. I've got a friend who runs quite a successful business near here. Last year, it was a picture of his boy standing outside his house with the number and road name, school uniform and badge on. And I was looking at his profile, I was like, you're not even tied down and you've got 3,000 followers. Like, this is what you do. The voice faking, there has been a case of that in law enforcement, CEO boss fraud, if you like. I did a presentation to a company 2 weeks ago. They deepfaked their MD using tools available. Their intern had done it using tools available, offline tools. It said it took him 2 days, and they'd done a video that they were going to show to their MD at the next board meeting about how good the IT team were and that they'd just given them a 40% pay increase. And it was just, I watched it and it was really good. So quite scary that if you've got the content, you can make some stuff. Yeah, there you go, there's my idea for you. Okay. So, on to malware. We've got access to a system now. Malware is basically designed to mess up a system in some way. Normally it has to have a user trigger, opening an email attachment, downloading something, plugging something in, those sorts of things. And ransomware is probably the one you've all heard about. Traditionally, ransomware locked the files and you paid and then the criminal unlocked them. But what happens is companies have good backups now. So they go, oh, I've locked your files. And you go, well, I've got a backup. No, and you're back up and running. Okay, it can take a while. But what the criminal actors do now is they steal the data. And they say, well, we've got a backup. And they say, well, that's fine, but we've got your customer records or your case files. Okay, and there's obviously been a number of these. There was quite a high profile one last year nationally where they said, oh, we've got your case files. And they went, well, we're not engaging with you. So they went, okay, and they just dumped the link on Twitter, 10 gig of data. There you go, live case files, like really sex offender cases and things like that. It was a national solicitor's firm. So that one's quite an interesting one. And then you pay to either get the unlock or to release, to prevent the release. And sometimes they will auction that data off if you don't pay them. This was an organisation in Suffolk, so people working remotely during COVID, they opened it up so people could work remotely. They didn't put two-step verification on, and what they did is they let people put in their passwords as many times as they wanted. They didn't put a password lockout on. The log showed that on the 84th time, so obviously not a great password, a criminal managed to get in. They got into the system. They actually didn't do anything for 3 months. They just sat there watching, learning. Then they launched the attack on a Sunday morning, 9:30, before everyone came back in the office on a Monday morning. Obviously they'd looked at the timetables, the emails, and thought that's the best time. They asked for some money. They didn't pay. They'd also stolen data over that 3 months. To date, that information hasn't been revealed, but their companies haven't paid firms to continuously look for it, and there's always that threat. What was quite interesting on this one as well was that they had because it'd been in for 3 months, they had their backups, but the backups were all affected. So the only backup they had was, luckily, the IT person had taken a backup home, I don't know why I did, and forgot about it. And it was 11 months old. So they lost 11 months worth of business data. Now, for most businesses, that would probably be the end of, should we say. Business email compromise, so we've talked about this. They're getting in, they're looking for those payments to requests, sudden payment requests from senior figures. We're seeing a bit of an increase of this over the last 6 months. Fake invoices, interception, those sorts of things. Okay, don't worry, feel free. And then you've got the ransomware deployments. That might be the last line, if you like. So what can we do? Strong passwords, 2FA verification. Policies, procedures, never sharing passwords. I don't know if you use any accounts with multiple people having the same password. Good. Double check. We had one crime in Norwich that was stopped because at the end of it just said God bless, and the person was like, they've never signed an email off like that. They rang them, and they're like, no. Well, they didn't pay their 35 grand bill, but 2 other companies paid 27 and something else like in the thousands, and lost the money. So making sure we're looking at from that point of view. Be proactive, reporting options, know who to report to, know how to report, those sorts of things as well. And then you've got your updating devices, make sure your devices are up to date. Using antivirus, this is at home as well. On your home computers, if you've got Windows Defender's okay. Don't worry, you don't need to go out and buy All Singing All Dancing, it does a decent job. Backing up your most important data, well, as an individual, it's probably your photos, I'd suggest. And if you pay for a backup service, great, but if you don't and you're using a backup service, you're probably the product, so test it, make sure it works. Does the backup the same quality? Those sorts of areas. But all that comes under the Cyber Aware campaign. Bunch of stuff we do, we will know about. Bunch of resources I'll put up in a little while. I've got some pads, pens and leaflets. And then, did I show you this one last time? Have a look at this one. So often, I think the problem with cyber is fire is quite tangible, isn't it? Fire, okay, I get that. Cyber, people go, what does that actually mean? What does that look like? This video is sort of trying to bring into the real world some of those attacks we've talked about.
Look at the B and the bike on a logo.
See, you have a sample ring.
Oh, is that my twin? Oh, it's a fake prototype.
It's exactly the same.
What the hell?
I've had people walking past and like, what are 2 Brompton stores doing right opposite each other?
So weird.
Like, I feel like I'm in some parallel universe.
That's a couple who were just in here, right?
Yeah.
They bought a bike.
They walked in from here.
And then they went over there.
Typed in their website.
I'm really confused.
Go walk over there.
We just wondered what was going on. He was like, do you want to test out one of our bikes? No. They've got the same tags as us.
They're having those of Bromptons delivered into their shop.
What?
What's happening?
I think these are our...
Delivery difference was it?
You sure this isn't a delivery for over...
Brompton. No, it's here, mate.
Are you Brompton?
No, Brompton.
Yeah, I can't even deal. What the hell? Alright, we've got customers.
Hold on.
Yeah. Hi guys.
Let's go to Brompton.
£840. Super leather. Bigger tyres.
Give us a demonstration.
There's a couple of different methods.
Sorry, just 1 second, sir.
Sorry. Actually, this snapback is componentry material.
Gary, what's the smallest size?
You don't want the mud guards to take them off.
See you later. Bye-bye, see you.
What was that?
The guy said, tell me your favourite 3 things about the tyre.
What the hell is going on?
You're getting quotes down.
Really? What should we do?
Whoa.
What are you doing? Can you take the sign down, please?
This is not okay.
The fact that you don't know what to do in that situation, it's daunting, really.
It's one thing if you see it online, but as you see it right in front of you, it kind of really brings it home that this is happening probably everywhere with every brand.
I was in so much shock, I was just going to take my t-shirt off and just walk out. I was like, what is going on? Like,
to see the company that you work for being undermined like that kind of really makes it real.
Every hack in this film is based on real criminal method.
Okay, so that sort of brings us to an end. Hopefully that, I think the biggest thing people find is how is this going to impact me and the organisation. Now, most of you are pretty switched on about this, and we spoke previously about the impact it can have and the area of work you work in, but I think there's always that in your mind, and if in doubt, you know who to report to, shout it out. Any questions on that? I've just got a couple of minutes left on the choices side. No? Okay, great. So what do you think is the average age of someone who commits a cyber offence in the UK? And this is at charge. You don't put your phones away before it's finished. Okay. No one's sort of 0 or 100, it's always a good start. Okay. So it's actually 17.5 at conviction. Well done. So normally sort of committing the offence around 15, something like that. The youngest individuals we've worked with in the Norwich area, 9. Multiple 9-year-olds who committed Computer Misuse Act offences. So Cyber Choices aims to deter people from doing it, and to, a lot of the time, having worked in education, a lot of the time people go, well, I didn't realise, they just, physical crime they get, go and break a window, okay, I understand that was someone else's property, but someone else's account, they don't understand, or it's on the computer though, isn't it? So the analogy I often use is, if you saw someone locking up a house and put the key under the mat, would you go and get the key and walk around the house? Like, well, no, it'd be trespass, wouldn't it? Okay. You saw a teacher's password, would you log into her account? Oh yeah. Well, what's the difference? Okay, so I think there is that difficulty there. Normally it's the challenge rather than the motivation, rather than the financial. There is research that's showing that gaming and critical thinking and mods and cheats and that type of mindset can potentially lead you into committing cyber offences. So Cyber Choices aims to upskill individuals about the law, but then also divert those who maybe committed low-level offences or at risk of committing offences. So, for instance, we've got a young man at the minute who saw a supply teacher's password and remembered it, and then logged in and had a look around. Oh, that would be a Section 1 offence. He then told his mate, who went on the school system and sent messages to all the parents of the kids he didn't like, saying that they were expelled. Okay, but then he went on and looked at all the medical records and sent that to some of the other kids. Bit of an issue there. Kids kicking each other off games happens all the time. That's not going to be a 10-year offence, obviously, but that we saw a young man in Suffolk who DDoSed his own school for $10, and it took 1,200 people offline. But because they're poor internet provider, it took a doctor's surgery offline as well for 2 hours, so they couldn't make prescriptions, access patient notes, those sorts of things. So potentially bigger impact there. No one's been charged under this one yet. WannaCry, if that had been someone in the UK, would have probably come under here. And then this one here, downloading a tool. We had a young man in North Norfolk who downloaded a password cracker. And we were like, why not? I just want to see if I get into the teacher's account. Like, really blatant, like just, didn't realise, didn't think that he didn't even use it. So, over the last year, we've surveyed anonymously 458 local teenagers. So when we do a presentation, they vote like you on Mentimeter. How many admitted to accessing someone else's account without permission? Okay, well, you are hard audience. So it was 31, okay? 18% refused to answer the question, even though it was anonymous. Okay, so really quite a big problem, especially when you think that, primary schools are giving kids tablets and things like that. They're really technically quite agile, quite good. That one about the strongest password, the audience that score the best answer on that are primary kids. They beat all businesses hands down. Okay, so they know what is good, but they don't. They're like, well, why should I bother? Account gets stolen, yeah, it's all right. It's like a way of life. But look at all that information that also has been captured. 63% said they've been kicked off a game. Lots of reasons that could be, but it could be that they've been a victim of a Section 3 attack. Could be that someone's like, oh, they're better than me, I want to win, I'm going to kick them off a game. Okay, fairly standard. But they were using tools where you normally pay. That tool is, again, organised crime, so you pay $10 to kick someone off a game, well, that money goes into a crime group who also do drugs, prostitution, all those sorts of areas as well. So this was the one I mentioned about the DDoS. It took down a primary school as well. He did it 3 times over 2 weeks, $30 it cost him. Not a master criminal, he paid on his own PayPal account, on his own school account while he was at school. Okay. But he didn't realise the impact it was having. He just went into lesson going, oh, the teacher can't access their lesson. Oh. everyone in the school, 1,200 students, couldn't access any online learning. Because the provider was so inept, they were like, I don't know what's going on. So they just went, it's definitely the school. So they said, you need to find a new provider. They kicked them offline. So the school then had no internet for another week while they changed provider. So massive impact. He did get a conditional caution because of the severity of it, and he worked with us for a year. So Cyber Choices is voluntary. Not in this case, it was conditional caution. But normally it's voluntary. It would go on the police system. It's not a crime, if you like, so it's a non-crime. But the idea, like I say, is to try and divert them and show them that those skills are useful in a legal point of view. You can make referrals, you'll get these slides, but you just send it off to a region. And there is some resources out, and there's a little flyer which has got our resources on both sides. There's a Cyber Aware, which is sort of around the cyber action plan I mentioned. Pads, a few pens, but the key points really is the human is the weakness, so you guys, but you can also be the company and your individual, you can be a real strength, just questioning and thinking. Two-step verification, if you haven't got it switched on, you should. Think about digital footprint. If you get a request and it looks a little bit too personalised, how could they get that? Probably have a look at your footprint and have a look at that, have I been pwned? There's resources out there, that CyberAware action plan, and then just highlighting Cyber Choices as well, just for awareness. So, last question. As a result, do you feel more informed? Some of you might already be savvy, that's great. I'm hoping a couple of you at least are. Adrian, otherwise that's it. You're coming back for the session this afternoon and again next week.
Yeah.
Amazing. We'll send the slides around. I'll probably send these ones around so you've got the result as well. And then I'll send you the PowerPoint version with the clickable links and things like that. There will be a little survey. If you could do that, that would be great. That just means whoever Ian gets to replace me has a job next year. Otherwise, that's it from me. Like I say, help yourself to those. If you've got any questions, more than happy to answer them. But I appreciate you probably want to go and send more emails and change passwords.
Thank you.
No worries. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.